Hi. I wasn't going to podcast tonight, but it's the full moon and I feel like I need to use this time to speak about things because that's what I do, and I feel like it's important to use. If you're not spiritual, you'll be like, what the fuck is she on about? But the full moon for me is like really, really important. And for the last few days I've been feeling pretty which is like kind of common for me during the full moon, like maybe like the 3 days surrounding the full moon. I always feel a bit weird. And I literally messaged my mum earlier and I was like, I feel so off. And then I checked my moon app and I was like, oh, it's the full moon today. But I feel like I just want to have a discussion. I don't know. I actually had a topic in mind, but it's, it's not immediately coming to me. It's come to me now, but I always feel like when I speak about things, they free flow. And what I was about to talk about didn't just free flow. So I'm just going to speak and hopefully say something of worth or of meaning or intent that hopefully helps someone or myself maybe. I feel like I want to talk about connection or something to do with being connected to things or feeling a lack of connection or whatever way you choose to think about connection. I recently moved to Australia like a month ago, and I'm really lucky because my best friend lives here and I've also got a lot of other very, very close friends here. And it's weird because before I came to Australia, I feel like I spent a lot of time on my own. Like, I have a great relationship with my mum at home and I have a really good home life, but I would spend most evenings doing nothing. Like, I would go to work, I'd come home, I'd go for a walk, make dinner, go to bed. Like, that was my life. And since I've been here, pretty much every day I see Joe, who is my best friend, and his housemates, Charlie and Suzui, who are my friends as well. And it's so strange because I feel like even though I'm so far from everything that is normal to me, I still feel so connected. Like, and I don't know if, and I can't tell you what would be different if I didn't have them here, or if I didn't have like Daya here, for example. Like, Daya's another one of my very important friends to me. Like, they're all very much in close proximity to me here. And in terms of connection, I feel like it's so strange because I'm in this complete new environment and I feel completely like, what the fuck? Like, I'm so far away. I'm in this house that I somehow now pay for and I live in, and I'm like, I live in the most beautiful apartment. I live like, I can see the beach from my balcony, and, I have a balcony that has this beautiful chair in it and overlooks everything. And, like, I'm so lucky, right? And I've really fallen on my feet somehow, like magically. And I don't know, the only thing that I can think about is, how like when you can just tell that you're meant to be somewhere, like you hear stories about people that are like struggling through everything and then they have this one plan to like move to a certain place, and then they go and everything falls into place and everything works out and everything just becomes the way that they always thought it would. And I kind of feel like that's what's happened coming here. And I've been thinking recently, like, is that to do with the people or is that to do with the plot, right? By plot, I mean my life plan. Like, I'm very much a person that believes that everything is predestined and predetermined and that you follow your path. and you can stray from your path, but it just makes your life like incredibly difficult. And I'm not one that believes in living a hard life. I don't think you should have to, and I think it's false propaganda that we have been taught to keep us in negative cycles, that you should have to struggle. I have other episodes on this, so I'm not going to delve into it too much, but I've been really trying to think recently, like, am I in alignment because this is where my people are? Or am I in alignment because this is where my soul is meant to be? And is it a mix of both? Like, I went to Melbourne like 2 weeks ago, and another one of my like really, really, really good friends lives there, Benny. And I remember just the whole time I was there being like, this feels like home as well. Like, everywhere that I've been here feels homely and everything feels right. And like, when we would spend time together, because Benny, this is so like, I'm really just telling you guys everything about my life, but when I came here last year, Joe got stranded in Thailand, and he set me up with Benny and Dea, because Benny's from the Gold Coast, Dea's English. Benny moved to Melbourne like a few months ago, so we're not all in the same place right now, and I feel like no matter who I'm with here, that means something to me. Whether I'm in Melbourne with Benny, or whether I'm in the Gold Coast with Joe and Dea, or whatever it is, I feel like it's correct, and I feel like I'm connected. And like, I feel like connection to me isn't just feeling like you can have a deep chat with someone and then feeling like you know them better afterwards. It's like this feeling of like peace. Like, when you're around a certain group of people or a certain type of person and they just bring you peace. And it doesn't have to be a person. And I think typically connection is described through interpersonal relationships. But I think that in the context that I'm trying to discuss, it's more of an abstract term, like connection in the sense of connection to self, or connection to a location, or connection to something that isn't almost tangible. And like, because I still speak to my mum every day, right? Every single day, like we call, or, you know, we talk, whatever. And like, me and my mum were saying, like, we can't quite believe that I'm so far away because we are still so connected. And I also think if you look at I don't know, this is going to sound really like, I don't know what's the word, not condescending, I don't know, maybe it won't, but like the increasing interconnectedness of the world, you know, and like globalization as a construct, I feel like facilitates connection while also making it so much harder. Which I know is just like, I've just completely juxtaposed myself and contradicted myself. But I feel like I'm more connected to the people that I choose to be connected to, even though I'm like 10,000 miles away from home. And I feel like the only way that I can rationalize that is that now that I'm here, all the people back home that I choose to continue to have a relationship with, we're choosing that for ourselves together. Like, we've chosen to commit the time to each other. And I think sometimes this is why like distance is important in any factor. It doesn't just have to be like personal relationships, but it could be like a job, or it could be I don't know, a trip, or it could be like anything, right? You have the distance away from it, or you have like the time before a trip where you look forward to it and you plan it, or if you don't really care, you know, like all of these things that go on. I feel like the choices that you make strengthen or decrease connection. And I feel like the connection that you choose to have to something isn't, it's almost like I have no idea where this episode is going. I'm like just speaking from my mind and it's just coming out, and I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm talking about. I feel that connection doesn't actually involve free will. And I saw this TikTok actually ages ago, right? And it was saying that free will doesn't exist because I have 2 cups in front of me and I prefer to drink from one of the cups more than the other. And I will always pick that cup over the other cup. So I have free will in the sense that I can choose to drink from either cup, but I don't have free will in the sense of my likes and my dislikes and my wants and my needs. You know, like maybe wants and needs is not necessary in that sentence, but like I can't help it that I like who I choose to love in this life. Like, and this is something that I've always found is like, you either are connected or you're not. And no amount of distance, no time zone shifts, nothing will stand in the way of that. And it makes me think that connection is just an extension of free will, which doesn't actually exist anyway, you know? And then it gets you onto string theory and it gets you onto like fate and divine intervention, and that these things, like, I can't help it but want to spend every day with my friends because I love them so much, you know? And like back home, I couldn't help it but want to spend every day with my mum because I love her so much. And it's like, I could choose to not do those things. Like, I could choose to spend time like doing other things, but it wouldn't be as like self-gratifying for me as choosing to be around the places where I feel the most connected. Or like, why do I choose to go to one beach over another? Or why do I choose to go to one bar over another? Because I like the vibe or I like the feeling of it. I feel like typically connection transcends the logic or the aesthetic. And I feel like this could be an example as to why people stay in like toxic relationships, or they stay in unhealthy situations, because the connection is formed. And like, it's so hard to walk away. Like, I had like a really bad friendship breakup like 3 years ago ish. That's crazy. It was 3 years ago. And this girl was like my sister. And the reason it was so hard to walk away from her was because she was like, I'd never felt as connected to another like soul on earth as I had to her. And I can only imagine that that's what it's like. I've never really like been in that position with like a boy, like romantically. So I can't even begin to imagine what that's like when you add like the layer of like romanticism on top of that. But I feel like this concept of like, I fucking like count how many times I've said connection because I'm really sorry. But I feel like the innate nature of connection is completely out of your control. And I feel like this is why people choose to do things that like may seem really random, you know? Like, one of my friends, Scarlett, she's like currently at this homestay in Lombok, and she's doing like all these crazy things all around Indonesia. And she tells me about these things that she's doing, and I think, fuck, like I've never even heard of that place. Like, I don't even know where that is. And you're doing like a 2-week homestay there, or you're going to climb this mountain there. And I think it's like your connection. Okay, this is going to sound weird. This is not going to sound weird. It's just going to sound stupid. But your connection to something connects you to something. Does that make sense? Deep it. Like, the connection to something is predetermined. The connection already exists. And that connection, like facilitates you to be able to be connected, to make that connection a connection. It's like a circuit. It's like a battery, right? Like, and I know they say that we as humans are batteries and that the earth is like the charger, right? So it would make sense. And that's why like grounding's so good for you, because it like releases the electrons and, you know, whatever. You don't get swollen ankles. I don't fucking know. It's kind of irrelevant. But the only way that I can explain this to you without sounding like a fucking nutter is like, we have circuits to complete in our life. Think karmic cycles, think schooling systems. Like, it's a cycle. You go in and then you leave. Like, it's like a loop. You have to complete the loop. Everything is a loop, right? Relationships are a loop. That's why some of them end, you know? And some of them, every relationship ends because at one point you die. If you have a relationship that's lasted your whole life, it will end when you die. You know, you see what I mean? So, like, it doesn't matter how big or small the loop is. The loop could be tiny. The loop, like, I actually saw a TikTok about this the other day, and it was saying that if you get the urge to do something, you need to just do it because you're completing that loop. And I feel like I've never heard anyone refer to it as, like, a battery before. So if I'm just, like, regurgitating someone else's information, comment it, because I want to learn more about this, because I don't know if I'm just, like, sounding like a crazy person, but in my mind, we are batteries, and our brains are almost like the control panel that operate the battery's function, and our senses allow us to like explore different parts of the battery's function. You know, like, we can go here, I can smell this, I can talk to you about this, like, we can have an argument, we can hug, we can walk to this location together and then walk back. Like, you see what I mean? It's all connecting you to something else. Like, connection is in everything. Like, me talking into my phone right now, I'm touching my phone, I'm connected to my phone, but I'm also looking at my fan, I'm connecting into my fan. Like everything is just this connection, right? And I think sometimes, like, when you feel the urge to just do something on a whim, it's like the stimulus coming in that you need to complete this connection. And I can't tell you, I don't know actually how to, I don't have the answer as to why we feel the urge to complete certain connections or certain cycles. I can't tell you that. And that's, I don't know, maybe like what I'm trying to figure out, what I'm trying to understand. And I was saying earlier very briefly about lack of connection. And I think maybe I am like not a good person to discuss this, because I'm very self-gratifying in the sense of, like, if I feel the urge to like run around in a circle all of a sudden, I will. Like, I would just do that. So I don't know like what it would be like to be the type of person that like self-censors, because I feel like when you censor, that's when you're inhibiting that cycle from completing. And like this TikTok that I saw that was talking about this construct was saying that when you don't complete that cycle, it doesn't go away. It's just like a half-finished loop. So you need to try and complete as many of these as possible, because it almost like okay. The image that's coming into my head right now, it's not a premonition, but this is the only way that my brain is telling me to explain it, is like you completing the cycles is like clicking X on a tab on like an Internet Explorer. You know? It's like the cycle pops up. It's like a pop-up, right? And you just have to click it and do it and complete it. But this cycle could take your whole life. It could be like your career is a cycle. And within that cycle, you could have other cycles. It's like, you know, you have like web pages and then you have tabs within them. Like you could have 10 browsers open, but you could have 100 tabs within these tabs. And it's like infinite possibilities. The big and the small of it all. And I feel like when you are consistently inhibiting your, I don't know, cycle completions, connection cycle completions, I don't know, you are like, I don't know, like almost like actively choosing to ignore your intuition, because I feel like these things come as intuitive cues. Like, why did I want to go to certain places, or why did I choose to go to that coffee shop today over another coffee shop? And it's like, you see those videos, and it's like, if I hadn't have gone to, like, two of my friends, right, they met in a bottle shop that, like, in Australia, right, if you're not Australian listening to this, you can't get alcohol at the supermarket, you have to get it from a bottle shop. And they met because she went into the bottle shop where he worked. And it's like, what if she'd have taken a different route home and gone into a different bottle shop? They never would have met, they wouldn't have lived together, and I would never have met her, And it's like butterfly effect. And I kind of feel like, because I am a big believer in things being predetermined, and maybe if you're not, I would actually be really interested to hear someone's perception on this concept, if you're not someone that believes in things being predetermined and you have a different ideology on free will. Because I believe that you can have free will in the sense of, like, you can choose to do whatever you want. But I think a lot of free will comes down to your preferences, right? Like I was saying earlier. So if you don't believe in the fact that things are predetermined or predestined, I would want to know how you think this differs. But it's like, these cycles create like wave signals. This is so not scientific, and I know I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not smart enough to talk about waves and fucking rays, and like I'm really not like chemically smart. I don't understand Earth on a molecular level that well. I don't know that much about quantum physics to be able to be talking about this, but I'm going to try, because I'm really like interested in this. So, you complete this cycle, right? Let's use Charlie and Suzu as an example. She goes into this bottle shop, they start speaking whatever. That's that cycle completed. But then it started a new cycle of their relationship. And like, they've been together like almost a year now. Their relationship will have consisted of so many cycles within that relationship, every trip, every conversation, every this, every that, whatever. And it's like that in my my brain is trying so hard to like get these into words that make sense, but each cycle, it's like emitting a frequency, and it's like changing the trajectory of your life while also just following the path that you are destined to be on. So is it changing anything? Was that going to happen anywhere? Because have you ever had it where you've met someone and you find out that you have been to so many of the same places, or done so many of the same things, or been in the same place at the same time? And like, I really believe so strongly that is string theory, and that like these things, it's like, I saw this tweet once, and it was like, you didn't go to the college that you wanted to, you went to the community college, and your soulmate was at the college that you wanted to go to, not the one that you chose to go to. And then you wanted to go for a run in the morning, but you didn't because you didn't wake up in time. Your soulmate was on that run. Like, all of these things, and it's like, you have to just do what you want. And it's like, and I feel like a lot of people genuinely, like, in our reality and our like current capitalist system that we've set up, don't know what they want, or they don't know what they like, or they don't know how to like self-satisfy or like self-regulate. So like, I very much know when I'm somewhere if I do or don't want to be there. And like, sometimes this can come across as incredibly rude, and like, this is something that I've had to work on, is people thinking that I'm just like a huge horrible bitch. Because like, if I'm somewhere and I'm like, my body doesn't want me to be there, it's like visceral. Like, I can't control it. Obviously, I'm not like a 5-year-old, but it's like, the id, ego, and the superego. It's like, in that moment, I have no control over anything. And my ego is just like, you don't want to be here, go somewhere else. Like, do the other thing that you're thinking about. And it's so weird, because obviously, like, there are times we have to do things we don't want to, like go to the dentist and like things like that. But in terms of like weird things that you really don't want to do, like, I really don't think you guys should have to do those things, because I don't do those things, and my life's going excellently. I don't know, like, I'm really confused about this, actually. And if anyone like has any ideas or knows like what they're talking, like what I'm trying to talk about, if it's like an already established construct, it must be, because I've seen some videos on it vaguely, but I feel like I'm speaking about 5 different topics all in one. I don't know. I'm gonna end this video now, podcast, because I'm confused and I really need to go to sleep. Thank you very much for listening. Please let me know if you have any ideas or understand anything about this, because I have no clue. But thank you guys for listening. Happy full moon. Wish you all the best. Love you guys.